You think you know American gods? Well, here's some things you may not have known about Shadow, Mr. Wednesday, and all of the other gods, new and old.
What's a god? They're real if you believe in them.
So who are you?
You wouldn't believe in me if I told you.
An adaptation of Neil Gaiman's novel of the same name, American Gods, was in development for years before finally making it onto the small screen. HBO first expressed interest all the way back in 2011, with Tom Hanks acting as a producer, but dropped the project in 2013 after they couldn't find writers that they felt were a good fit. Starz then picked it up with producers Brian Fuller and Michael Green at the helm. Gaiman, Fuller, and Green are already planning for future seasons of the show. Gaiman said that they aren't afraid of running out of story, as the first season only covers about a third of the book, and new material has been created for the show as well.
And then we will rendezvous at one of the most important places in the entire country.
Where is the most important place in the country?
One of the most important places. Opinion is justifiably varied. But we will be stopping in Chicago first.
What's in Chicago?
Miami.
While Neil Gaiman only sold producers the rights to American Gods, he also gave them permission to incorporate ideas and elements from a companion novel he wrote titled Anansi Boys, which features the character Mr. Nancy from American Gods. Interestingly, a separate adaptation of Anansi Boys has been in development at the BBC since around 2014. Nicolas Cage was first approached to play the show's version of Odin, Mr. Wednesday. However, though he liked the character and the script, calling it, quote, beautifully written, he turned down the part because he didn't want to commit to a long-form television series. Mr. Wednesday was eventually played by Ian McShane. To virally market the show, Brian Fuller tweeted out a collage of Gillian Anderson's character, Media. Images in the collage featured Anderson dressed as various media icons, including Marilyn Monroe, Lucille Ball, Judy Garland, and David Bowie. Mr. Nancy's introduction in the show is very different from his intro in the book. In Gaiman's novel, Shadow meets Mr. Nancy as he's eating a sundae and drinking coffee at a diner without much fanfare. The show changed his introduction to feature the character talking to enslaved Africans as they were being shipped to North America during the 17th century. The change was made to both offer commentary on social issues like Black Lives Matter and to draw inspiration from the rhetoric seen at Donald Trump rallies. In this scene, while Mr. Nancy still wears one of his trademark suits, it was made purple instead of his regular bright yellow and red suits. This was done at the request of Orlando Jones to reflect the royal colors of the Ashanti Empire of Africa. The character of Vulcan did not appear in Neil Gaiman's novel and was instead created exclusively for the television series. However, the character was inspired by a real experience Gaiman had while traveling through Birmingham, Alabama. A statue of Vulcan stands over Birmingham, the largest cast iron statue in the world, celebrating the city's history with iron and steel factories. Gaiman was told that at least one factory, several workers died because management did not care about their safety. It was cheaper to pay damages to the family than to shut the factory down long enough to make conditions safer. Gaiman believed that this was as, quote, modern a definition of sacrifice as there might be. When modernizing the idea of Vulcan, Fuller and Green also looked at how much of American culture is entrenched in gun ownership and gun control. They reconciled this with the Roman god of fire, volcanoes, and metalworking by describing guns as a sort of mini volcano you hold in your hands. And here's a bonus one. Though the show is called American Gods and is about how gods from various religions have adapted into the modern-day United States where few people care about them anymore, it was ironically filmed in Toronto, Canada.
I think I'm losing my mind.
That's it for this episode of You Think You Know TV. Make sure you subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and get the latest movie and TV news on ScreenCrush.com.